Rice, a cereal that has been cultivated for over 12,000 years. Thailand is the world's largest exporter of rice. 3/4 of rice production is grown on small surfaces, mostly family farms. Rice generates $2 billion a year in Thailand, but it's not the rice farmers who are making a profit. For 40 years, the more rice they produce, the poorer they become. They have had to abandon their land and seek a better life in the big cities. Poverty has caused a mass exodus, and they inevitably end up in the Bangkok slums. International trade law obliges farmers to sell rice at prices that don't allow them to live decently. This is the context in which Thai rice arrives on our supermarket shelves. Thailand has an economic policy that promotes rice exportation. Its success depends on the 20 million peasant farmers who live, well, survive, off rice. Tristan Lecomte remains hopeful. International trade expert and social entrepreneur, Tristan travels to the other side of the world to meet with small-scale producers. In the fields, sharing their daily life, he realized just how our lifestyle affects nature and man. Tristan knows that simple solutions already exist that enable us to develop economic growth and protect social welfare while respecting our environment. Enterprising farming communities prove this on a daily basis, and it is these solutions that Tristan wants to bring to our attention. Rice forms part of the staple diet of over 500 million people. Thailand exports 1/3 of its domestic production. Since the 70s, intensive farming and monocultures have been imposed, and this has had a significant effect on traditional farmers. Their subsistence crops have disappeared, and with them, their vital resources. However, certain farmers have refused this economic model, and they offer realistic and alternative solutions. Tristan Lecomte takes us to meet these small-scale producers. He opens the door to this other world. Bangkok has 11 million inhabitants. The economy is booming. The capital generates 40% of national wealth through its financial activity and tourism. The metropolis attracts 14 million visitors each year. People come from around the world to visit the temples. But they don't visit the slums, where over 2.5 million people are living. The majority are rural people who have come to seek work. These migrants settle wherever they can find space. Street vendors and hospitality workers live in squalid conditions because they can't afford rent elsewhere.
Where are you from?
Isan.
That's where we are from.
We're in a poor district of Bangkok, and it seems that most of the people here come from Isan, the main rice-growing area. There's been a mass exodus from the region because rice prices are so low.
When night falls, Bangkok transforms.
Please drive carefully.
A different form of tourism takes to the streets. Although it's illegal, prostitution is prevalent. Tristan is often given the same response when asking girls where they come from. Isan. The Isan Plateau occupies 1/3 of the country and is the main rice-growing region. It is one of the poorest provinces in Thailand, and most of the people in the Bangkok sex trade come from here.
We can buy these products and give them to the monks, who then give them to people in need. We find all essential items here: a torch, matches, flip-flops, milk, coffee, soap, toothpaste. This is an integral part of Thai culture. It is Buddhist tradition for people to donate to monks so that they can meditate Buddha's teachings without needing to make a living. They dedicate themselves to serving Thai society and help anyone who approaches them. They are an invaluable source of information because they are a port of call for all. It is for this reason that Tristan went to meet the Venerable Long Ponan. He told him about a former prostitute called Kunaan. He helped her when she went back to live in Isan, penniless, after years of working in bars. Many girls from the region are in the same position.
Maybe can show us around?
I have some hens.
How many?
I used to have 30, but most of them have died. I now have 8.
Is this the chicken coop?
I used to live there.
Huh? You sleep here?
Yeah.
How long did you live in this one?
About a year.
A year and, maybe a couple of months after that.
We don't have any land to cultivate. And we are constantly facing natural disasters. There are lots of floods during the rainy season, and in the summer we have droughts. Rice farming doesn't bring in the income that it should. We go to Bangkok to try and find work. I didn't want to work nights, but I had to. I didn't have anyone to help me raise my children. I'll be honest, I earned a lot of money from strangers. Every time that I was well paid, it was worth it. Worth the degradation. It gave me money for my children.
Companies take advantage of the farmers' plight and offer to buy their rice fields at low prices. They then lease them back to them, and former owners become tenants of their own plots.
Not many farmers in Isan own their own land. Most of them sell their rice paddies. They decide that they can use the money to buy rice in large quantities and resell it to make a profit. This seems a better option than spending their whole life as a poor rice farmer.
How do you think we can find solution for these problems?
I don't know. I don't think that there is a solution to this problem. It seems that most people choose the solution that I just told you about. They sell their rice fields to send their sons to work abroad, and their daughters to work in bars or as a prostitute in Bangkok, Pattaya, or Phuket.
The smallest rice fields in Isan are half an acre, and the largest are 5 acres. They don't bring in much revenue because yields are low. The soil has been depleted due to the extensive use of chemical fertilizers.
How many kilo of rice do you produce per hectare?
2 tons. More or less.
So it's 2 tons per hectare. So it's at the average of the Isan area. And do you use chemical products?
Yes, I use chemical fertilizers.
Yes. Who sells you the chemical products?
The government.
And they give you a loan as well to buy this chemical product, is that right?
The Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives gives us loans.
Have you heard about organic agriculture?
It's far too complicated. I wouldn't know how to do it.
The problem with chemical fertilizers is that the more you use them, the more you need them. 20 years ago, 18 kilos of rice were produced per acre, but nowadays, 110 kilos. Despite the cost, farmers need to use fertilizers. The Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives lends money at very low rates on the condition that it is used to buy pesticides. For the Minister of Agriculture, using chemicals is a prerequisite for a good harvest, and the government pushes farmers to use these products to avoid a decline in domestic production. The main consequence is that it increases the cost of production. The purchase price that is offered to farmers is too low. Rice farmers don't have any price negotiating power. The farmer harvests unmilled rice, known as paddy. It is still in its kernel and must be processed to meet consumer needs. The paddy is taken to a mill where it is sorted, shelled, polished, and bleached. This process turns the rice white, and it is then sent to exporters who sell Thai rice worldwide. Competition is fierce. Vietnam, China, India, and the United States are all key exporters. The cost must stay low for Thailand to remain the market leader. The price that is offered to the miller is very low. The miller then offers a low price to the farmers. This means that they are unable to pay the interest on their rice debts. The price of rice is speculated on throughout the world and can vary within a few days. In 2010, rice farmers sold their products at prices fixed by the millers. But that price doubled in the international market in the months that followed. It was too late for the rice farmers who had already sold their supply, but it was very lucrative for the exporters who had kept tons of rice in stock. The exporters own modern rice factories, but they need the harvest of hundreds of thousands of farmers to compete on an international level.
We are at Patum Rice, one of the 10 largest exporters in Thailand. These silos hold 60 million kilos of rice that is ready to export. Volume is the priority.
If the price of the rice is so low, farmer is not happy, no?
Yes, the farmer is not happy, but if they have the raw material much in their hand, they would like to sell to the market.
Farmer has no choice.
Yes, they have no choice.
Thai rice millers made significant investments in their bid to become the leading world producer. They have mechanized rice processing. The beans are sorted using a sortex, a laser. They are peeled, polished, steamed, and packaged in minimal time.
We have to check the price for Bangkok, and we also have to check the price in the local market. And we have to conclude which price we will buy for each day. Every day the price changing.
When you say in Bangkok, you mean the government, or is there a stock market for rice?
We have to check with the rice exporter.
So the rice exporters set the price?
Yes.
According to world market prices?
Yes, yes. The price of the rice, they come from the top to bottom, not from the bottom to the top.
We met some farmers and some millers, and the farmers, they complain that the price of the rice is too low, and they say it's because of the millers. And then the millers, they say the price of the rice is too low because of the exporter. What do you answer to this?
I think this is the confusing of the every step in for the farmer. I know that is when you are the seller, you would like to sell the higher price also, right? We are also the exporter. When we sell to the other country for the customer, for the foreign country, right? We also would like to sell the higher price. But the miller, he is the intermediate. He also take risk for the raw material. So that means they will pay for a little bit low price for safety factor.
How come Thailand is the biggest exporter and the rice farmer, they are still very small?
It's limitations of the farmers, actually. Limitation of the farmers. In the geography of the land of the farms, it's not good to do in the big plantations like in the US or some the other countries. And the farmers, they will do it individually with just very small of the machines to help them for the plantations. And they have limited of capacity and capitals. So they cannot do bigger.
In reality, rice farmers do not own enough land to earn a decent living. Competition in the international market is strong, and it's unlikely that this situation will change.
Normally, in the future, I will say that because of the Thailand cannot only plantation for the rice, because nowadays our side country like Vietnam, like Laos, like Cambodia, their cost for producing the rice farms is very cheap, and is will cheaper than Thailand even in the future, right? Because their wages, everything. So our farmers should have the education and support by government to change also.
Something else.
Yes, something else. We should use the zone already. That Isan, Northeast in Thailand, is only can produce rice only for once a year.
And the rest of the year, what do they do?
Yes, the rest they're only waiting.
According to this exporter, there is not enough irrigation, and a water network could help rice farmers to produce 2 crops per year. He doesn't mention that deforestation and frequent droughts have dried up the groundwater. Many problems have been identified, but no realistic solutions have been suggested.
The main problems for Thai farmers
ชาวนาในประเทศไทย
Firstly, the high production costs.
วัตถุทางด้านการวัสดุทางด้านการเกษตรเนี่ยแพงขึ้น
Secondly, the cost of pesticides has increased.
คือถ้าพูดถึงนี้เรื่องชาวนาจริงๆแล้วเนี่ย
Thirdly, insects are destroying the crops.
โรคระบาดโรคของธรรมชาติแล้วก็ภัยแล้งที่เกิดขึ้น
there are regular droughts.
ปัญหาที่เข้ามาในช่วงนี้ปัญหาเยอะ
And what are the solutions according to you?
ในการลดต้นทุนนั่นคือ
We are working with government
เรา
organizations.
ต้องพยายามลดให้น้อยลงที่เราทุกวันนี้เรา
To
ใช้
start
สาร
with,
เคมี
we are trying to reduce the use of
นั้น
chemicals,
ซึ่งเป็นราคาที่แพงมากจะต้อง
in
หันเข้ามา
particular
ลดสารเคมี
fertilizers, because they are very
แล้วก็พยายามใช้
expensive.
ปุ๋ยธรรมชาติ ให้มากที่สุด
We encourage farmers
เพื่
to
อที่
use
จะได้กำจัด
organic
พวกแมลง
fertilizers.
อะไรเนี่ยจะได้ไม่มีมากเกิดขึ้นและนั่นคือ
They must reduce their production costs and at the same time increase their yield.
ที่จะอยู่ได้คือต้องเพิ่มผลผลิตต้องทำงานควบคู่กันไป
The authorities have pushed yield as the reason for farmers to use fertilizers and pesticides. It will be difficult to repair the damage that has been done to the environment and the land that has been contaminated. It's also a public health issue. The use of chemicals is not safe for consumers. It's no surprise that our exporter doesn't share these concerns.
That not says that the inorganic is the hazard or have the danger to the health. Don't like
chemical product is not dangerous for the health.
Because we have the regulation and also this is the plantation. When we fertilize everything with the chemical, before we harvest, we also leave the period for the how many days already. And after they produce, the rice grain come out, all the chemical is already gone.
Where?
Atmosphere, something, everything.
Something atmosphere, yeah.
Thailand started producing Thai jasmine rice over 40 years ago. This fragrant rice has become popular all over the world. The demand is so high that in some years the crop has replaced arable land to the detriment of traditional rice species that have gradually disappeared. Prior to the destruction of Thailand's rice heritage, the government created the only rice seed bank in the world.
So this is a cold room where you store the seeds. Yes.
We use the temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. Wow.
This place is remarkable. The entire gene pool of Thai rice is kept here. Most of these rice varieties are no longer cultivated, and they are kept here in a bid to preserve the biodiversity of over 24,000 varieties of Thai rice.
There are almost 5,000 varieties of rice in Thailand. The methods for cultivating these different varieties have been passed down through the centuries, but they are complicated to produce and don't appeal to many consumers. The local market is much more varied than the world market. Tristan goes to look for different types of rice at a farmer's market in Surin. These fairs enable local farmers to showcase their produce. The rice that we find here is full of flavor, color, and is high in fiber, but even Thai people are beginning to prefer industrialized white rice.
Why do both French and Thai people prefer white rice to brown rice, even though brown rice is better than white rice?
White rice is softer and easier to cook, but it doesn't contain any protein, vitamins or fiber.
What does white rice contain?
Almost nothing.
Nothing? Starch?
White rice is produced to satisfy consumer need. The nutrients are found in the outer layers of the grain, and they disappear during the polishing stage. This vitamin-filled waste is then used as animal feed. Agricultural policy in Thailand is based on rice exportation and creates social, economic, and environmental problems, all for the sake of a standardized rice that has no nutritional value. Monoculture farming has played a key role in economic development. Meanwhile, farmers' living conditions have deteriorated. In 1974, Rama IX, the King of Thailand, forecast this situation. He has moral, religious, and philosophical authority. His political power is limited, but he is deeply respected and trusted. In the mid-70s, he advised people to consider the philosophy of self-sufficient economy. The Thai people must find a way to maintain their lifestyle that does not rely on the world market. The sovereign has established training centers throughout the country. They teach the agricultural techniques that are needed in order to live by this philosophy. Diversity is the key to their method. The king has been spreading his message for almost 40 years. Tristan makes his way to Chiang Mai in the northwest to meet with Kunanan. He is a model farmer and the perfect example of how self-sufficient economics can provide for our needs. Kunanan feeds his family with the rice that he grows. He sells the rest to a local cooperative. He uses this money to pay for his children's education.
My name is Kunanan. I come from the village of Donjiang. I was born there, and my parents were too. I was ordained a Buddhist monk, but I left 30 years ago. I've been a farmer ever since. I used to use a lot of chemicals, and I was practicing monoculture. In 1999, I switched to organic and sustainable agriculture. I became self-sufficient. I grow a wide variety of plants and vegetables. I eat my own produce. I do not need to buy food from the market.
There is a miscellany of plant and animal production at the back of his house. It might seem messy, but everything has its place. It's a small space, and Kunanan is in charge. He has even produced biogas for his own consumption.
I keep pigs. When I clean their pen, their droppings are filtered into this tank. There are 5 underground tanks. Feces ferment for 15 days and then turn into biogas.
Why did you change to organic farming?
Using chemicals was getting me into debt. I did not earn enough money to live. The longer that I practiced conventional farming, the less money I had.
Why do you think so few people follow the king's vision for self-sufficiency? Why most of the farmers and mainstream farmers in Thailand, they don't follow the king's vision?
This form of capitalism controls them. They're blind. They can neither see nor understand what would work best for them. They do not recognize that if they continue to obey the laws of capitalism, then they're doomed. This wave of consumerism is so powerful and so ubiquitous that it engulfs everybody.
the king's philosophy reaches far and wide, but this hasn't alleviated the need for consumption. Many farmers took out loans to buy tractors in a bid to become more productive, but in small areas, this does not have a significant effect on the volume of the harvest. In addition, the farmer must pay for machine maintenance and interest on the credit. When the farmers follow the philosophy of self-sufficiency, they find practical solutions for increasing their income. With this in mind, Mantrigo Shalawat created the Progressive Farmers Association. His goal is to help farmers root themselves in their land and to offer them viable and sustainable financial solutions. For example, he created a buffalo bank to help reduce production costs.
We also try to keep the traditional way of rice farming from our farm. What they have done in the past hundreds of years to keep the buffalo to do the work in the rice field. Mostly they save a lot of investment by tractor, by oil, diesel to put in machine. But the buffalo, they don't need oil. But they give us the dung that we can make a compost. That is why we set up a buffalo bank. At the moment, we have more than 2,000 buffalo in the project.
I've heard that it's very difficult to train the buffalo to plow, for example. Is it right, or?
I don't think to train the human is much harder than to train a buffalo.
According to Mantrigo Shalawat, the farmers must diversify their activities throughout the year to increase their revenue. Natural rubber production is a possible solution that could work within their schedule.
The rice farming are working in May until June by the planting. During June to harvest time, they have the time to do another thing. If they have a rubber tree, they can tap it. It's additional income for them.
He has also opened a weaving workshop. This activity is usually reserved for women. They receive a salary, and this gives them independence at the same time as preserving tradition.
We try to create some, I would say, incentive income for the silk weaver. If they get enough income, is the thing that the knowledge of silk weaving in Thailand more than 1,000 years ago. If now it's only the older people doing the weaving. If they pass away, nobody carry out. We lost our tradition, knowledge, and identity.
No rice, no silk, yeah. Big problem.
This means no love.
Commerce and trade areas must be set up to help revitalize the rural economy. An increasing number of small markets that only sell organic products have opened. The organic sector is thriving. It's not just a fad. A relationship between the producer and the consumer is developed here.
Producers sell lemons, duck eggs, beans, natural sponges, taro. The herbs here have been harvested locally. We find lots of types of traditional herbs that have been picked along the banks of the lakes and rivers.
Why you come to the organic market to buy your products?
Most of the produce here is local.
You like to buy directly from villagers? Yes.
Yes, yes. I like to buy
From the farmers.
Yes. Organic food is good for your health. I'm 77 years old, and I feel great.
77 years old.
You
look much younger.
But organic doesn't always mean good. Grasshoppers are just about okay, but cockroaches?
Oh, thanks. I've been given a bigger one. This one is disgusting.
Opportunities are now available to rice farmers who invest in organic farming. This is the case for Kunpak Poom, the leader of the Surin cooperative.
Hello.
Hello. Have you eaten rice?
Yes, I have eaten rice. Have you eaten rice?
Sorry, I don't speak very good Thai.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Rice has such importance in Thai culture that it's part of the vocabulary. How are you literally means, have you eaten rice? It seems that Kunpak Poom is fine.
Is this drinking water?
Yes, it's rainwater. We have coconut trees, lemon trees, and vegetables. There are lots of medicinal herbs here.
This?
Yes. You can heal yourself with it. It's very effective.
It's like paracetamol or aspirin.
This is bergamot. You boil it to make shampoo. The leaves are used for cooking. I spend less than 20 euros per month supporting myself. Everything else is produced on my farm. My food, my medication, my oil, even meat and fish. I'm 100% autonomous, and I'm very proud of that.
Set Leo. This one too?
Kunpak Poom spends 20 euros per month on personal consumption. He buys products that he cannot produce, such as fish sauce and salt. This is not a return to the Stone Age. He is striking a harmonious balance between his needs and his expenses. Priority is given to nature and the community.
An evening welcome party awaits Tristan. Lucky bracelets are exchanged and vows are made to each other.
I wish you a very good harvest. Very happy life. So I wish you a lot of fun.
I think that organic farming requires a good understanding of nature. Nature shouldn't be treated aggressively, as is done in chemical agriculture. The use of chemistry has made us very impatient. People think that chemicals facilitate production, and that if you want a good quality product, then you just need to add chemical treatments. Or if you want to get rid of insects, you do the same. However, in organic farming, we learn that in fact, we must listen to nature.
There will always be fish in Kunpak Poom's lake. He manages his food supply astutely.
We've got 5.
Yes, 5.
5 fish. This represents a significant amount of protein. They fish according to need. Since we have enough fish, we released some back into the water.
Bye-bye.
Planting and harvesting rice is a challenging job. It's hard work. It pays a pittance. We're constantly bent over.
You're Ajahn Khao.
You are a master, the rice master. They have an entirely different approach here. Their method of working is not mechanized or utilitarian. Often a farmer is seen as a machine, but here they are cultivating the art of living. The harvest is reaped by hand, and people have a sense of fulfillment. The difference in mainstream chemical farming is that the soil is artificially modified with fertilizers. This is not sustainable because each year more fertilizers are required. Chemicals are not used in organic farming. Only natural fertilizers, such as manure, where microorganisms develop and react and rejuvenate the soil and the microbial activity, and earthworms and other soil animals that regenerate the earth. This is called natural fertilization. Life is being reintroduced into the ground, and the yield is increasing every year. In conventional chemical farming, the yield decreases unless higher levels of fertilizers are used.
How many kilos of rice do you produce per hectare or per rye?
Approximately 2.4 tons per acre. It depends. Some years more and some years less.
2.4 tons.
Or 400 per rye.
It depends when I plant my rice. The rain decides. It determines when I can plant. If I'm able to plant at the right time, then I have a good harvest.
And it's likely that the harvest next year will be even better. Kunpak Poom and the other rice farmers in the region have their own mill. They export their rice all over the world via fair trade companies. They increase their income by bypassing the traditional system at the same time as producing their rice with care and attention.
We are delivering Kunpak Poom's rice to the cooperative that he is part of. The truck is placed on a scale that indicates the weight of the rice. In most conventional mills, the scales are rigged in a bid to pay less money to the producers. It's done differently here, and the weight is clearly displayed.
Ici, les poids soient affichés clairement.
The rice that we are delivering is checked for impurities or foreign bodies.
Your rice is good.
Your rice is good. It looks good.
The rice is subjected to a series of tests that are similar to those performed in industrial mills. They are less technological, but they are just as reliable.
The rice is now being counted. They count the percentage of saleable brown rice per every 100 grams. If it remains in its kernel, then it is ready to be exported. They remove all the impurities and any grains that have not yet matured and are not fit for sale. Around 38 grams per every 100 grams are suitable for exportation.
farmers have adapted their methods to satisfy international demand. The cooperative produces the same volume of rice in 1 year as an industrial mill produces in 5 days, but they generate enough income for their 300 members.
The fact that the cooperative exports directly to international buyers means they receive a bigger percentage of the profit, 2 to 3 times more than they would if they sold to the local industrial mill.
There is one issue we can't control: climate change. The crop is dependent on monsoon rains. If there's not enough rain, then the farmers can lose everything. There is a solution to this problem: SRI, the System of Rice Intensification. Father Henri de Laulanier developed SRI in Madagascar in the 80s during a drought. He planted his rice in dry ground, and this produced remarkable yields. For centuries, it was thought that rice was an aquatic plant. Here, the water supply is tightly controlled, and the plants are not flooded during their growth. This promotes root development. If the roots are sturdy, then the plant is robust and it produces more stems, and therefore more rice. The rice fields are only flooded at the start of the crop cycle to facilitate planting. This method is organic and produces yields of 5 to 10 times more than traditional farming. The rice farmer must take care of the crop and weed often to aerate the soil. The SRI system is practiced in 42 countries. Jeff Rutherford is an expert in this type of farming. He tries to convince Thai farmers to practice this method that was developed by a priest, but they are not yet to be converted to this revolutionary technique, as despite its benefits, it's a departure from their traditional methods.
I mean, using more for less. It's just common sense, but you know, it's different. It's a change, and people don't want to change. You know, people, especially farmers. Farmers are some of the most conservative people on earth. And people do this because that's what their ancestors did. Well, that's flat out wrong. I mean, their ancestors weren't using urea originating from oil fields, gas fields in Saudi Arabia. I mean, they didn't have any of that stuff. All the stuff they use right now, they didn't have a couple generations ago. So who knows what traditions are anymore? The conventions now are based on cheap fuel. Cheap fuel is a thing of the past, so all the conventions, whether they're conventions or not, they're all going to change anyway. So how are we going to change? Are we going to change like, I give up because I can't grow rice anymore because I can't afford all this expensive stuff, and let's sell the land to the guy who can? That's what's happened all over the world. I hope it doesn't happen here.
So this method meets as well the self-sufficiency ideas of the king.
I would think it'd be completely compatible. For me, the benefits are that you can grow more rice on the same piece of land so that you could actually decrease your rice land and diversify it, because too much dependence on one crop is not a good thing for a variety of reasons. The downside of SRI is that you need certain conditions in your paddy that not everyone is willing to achieve, I guess. So you need good soil, and that's the main thing. I think SRI really, really works best if you're really working on your soil.
By 2035, we will need 116 million tons of rice to satisfy world consumption. It is therefore necessary that we find ways to increase farming productivity. Thailand is struggling to remain market leader because they are determined to resist GMOs. This standpoint is becoming difficult to maintain. They have serious competition from other countries. Laos and Vietnam have developed cheap production methods. Meanwhile, a new form of agriculture is emerging. It respects man and the environment. Every day, thousands of school children are being taught the philosophy of self-sufficiency in the King's training centers. They are taught the importance of preserving their environment as well as responsible agricultural production methods. The number of cooperatives is increasing. Organic farming appeals to those who see it as economical as well as a way of living in harmony with the environment. Kunpakpum and Kunanan are convincing ambassadors. Their smiles of joy speak 1,000 words.